Week 7, I worked did my internship for the Arkansas School for the Deaf from Monday, September 30th in the art class from 8 to 3:30. Tuesday, October 1st in the art class, and then an ASL class with Eddie that morning from 8 to 3:30. Wednesday, October 2nd in the art class from 8 to 3:30. Thursday, October 3rd in the art class from 8 to 3:30. Then Friday, October 4th in the art class from 8 to 12:30. And then Friday, October 4th, a meeting with Eddie from 12:30 to 1. So week 7 had a total of 35 hours. And for all the weeks together so far, 1 through 7, had a total of 228 hours and 50 minutes. This week for the elementary students, we had a reptile presentation by her special presenter, as she likes to call him, which is actually her fiance. But I guess she's trying to be professional and try to leave that part out of it. And of course, we leave that part out of it. But I find it interesting how she wants to continue to call it a special presenter. Even when she's just talking with Darlene and I before class starts, yeah, my special presenter that's coming today. We both know it's our fiance, and she's told us that, but even in normal conversation, she still gives him the title of special presenter, which I think is cute, but I guess it's professional. So we had the reptile presentation Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday this week with the elementary students, and he brought in 2 turtles and an alligator named Chester, and then a new alligator on Thursday. They had to take Chester to the alligator farm on Wednesday because he was getting too old and too big for their tank at Pinnacle Mountain. But we had a presentation. The kids loved being able to interact with the animals and touch them, and they just love the overall thing of it. Now, as far as signs go, I realized I was trying to sign Pinnacle, the whole Pinnacle Mountain each time, and realized the students weren't really paying attention because they're too interested in looking at the turtles and everything else that he had on display on the table and brought with him. And I noticed when Darlene was signing it, State Park, like Arkansas's State Park. And I love that, and I realized we have more than one park, but as far as their attention span and they're wanting to just concentrate on the turtles and not really listening, or so I say, watching me sign everything he's saying, they want to touch and feel everything on the table, and it doesn't really matter to them what or where he works, and they want to see the animals. That's what's important to them. In regards to reptile, I fingerspelled it every time. There was a discussion Darlene and I had, because he would talk about the alligators and the ability to look more than just straight ahead, and she had signed like way out there with her index fingers and over here, and I explained to her later you can use the classifier like he's looking, the alligator can look and see way over here to the peripheral vision instead of, and not only just straight ahead. And so like that. And in regards to reptiles and their cold blood and compared to warm-blooded humans, that they need to find a special place to live that can keep their body cool or warm. Basically, we decided like their body temperature control they can't, so they need to find an environment to live in to help them control their body temperature, which I like that. We had a discussion with one of the students in one of the elementary classes. He kept signing fake, and I didn't know what he meant by that at first until I realized he was asking, was the turtle fake instead of a real turtle, which I can understand. Even Eddie explained to us that he's always done it off the chin, because real's off the chin, true's off the chin, and so he does fake off the chin. But we had a discussion with Kevin, one of the aides in the class. We're like, okay, we're having an argument over here. Is it fake or fake? And he specifically said that he signs fake as well. But maybe where the student was coming from is if you go like this, it could be mouse. So I understand that. So now anytime somebody signs this, I know they mean fake instead of just here. But I'll continue to sign it fake. That's just my preference. And I've learned to deal with that even with teaching the ASL class for Eddie on Thursday, or helping with it rather on some of the Thursdays. It depends on how busy his schedule is. With numbers, I've tried to explain to them that you can either do, for example, 16 or 16 or 16. And they all three mean the same thing, but it's just your preference. Just to know that if you see it and it's signed either that way, that way, or this way, that all three will mean the same thing, and that way you can understand. You pick whichever, it's your choice, whichever one you like the best. But just to know subconsciously, like if you see something else, that means the same thing, and that way you're prepared for it. I don't word it exactly like that, but I'm just saying I've learned that I've picked up on more signs that are a little bit different from my own, but at least that way I'll know and recognize these signs later when they continue to pop up. For example, like I said, from the first week, instead of gray, we got gray. And now I've learned, like, instead of just what, there's what. There's a couple others, can't quite remember. I know there's like call, and I don't remember what it was exactly, but another sign for call. I'll ask Eddie again, or I'm sure you could probably tell me. But I love that I'm being able to pick up on these new signs and expand my vocabulary, so that way I'm not just one sign for one word. I can not only learn several words for one sign, but now I'm learning several signs for one particular word. I love that interchangeability and the fact that I'm actually learning something new every week and every day that I'm at ASD. Another sign, like we learned, McDonald's, and then McDonald's, and then another student said she saw somewhere else they signed McDonald's like this, McDonald's. Learned some new, there's like Chicago and of course Boston, I think Philadelphia and Indiana. Learning some new state signs that I've either forgotten in the past or just never learned. And then of course Dallas, and I can't remember Houston. I don't know. We've been practicing even some country signs. Vietnam, I know. I think it was Korean, and I could be mistaken about that. What was I going to say? Oh, and then learned the sign for Wendy's, and Target, Walmart, Walgreens. Oops. I don't know. There may have been another restaurant sign, but I can't recall right this minute. But like I said, I love continually picking up on new signs, which is pretty awesome, and expanding my vocabulary, which will happen quickly, obviously, at ASD. It's great being around the culture and the signing all the time, every day, and getting my hands up. It's been the best practice ever, which I love. The high school students, we continued working on their texture projects, their unity projects with the supporting colors. Started on a balance project, which basically they have, it's a series of triangles / diamonds, but it goes out and it's supposed to be balanced on each side of the page and look the same on this half as it is on this. The art itself is balanced. I have realized that another thing that bothers me about Elizabeth is she tells the students when they say they're done, she's like, okay, but then she grades poorly on it or negatively and marks them way down. And when they ask her, which they've started asking her about her grades, why they got that, she goes, well, it was a little messy, or you didn't follow my instructions here. Well, I think that, and here comes my opinion again, hold on.